Okay, time for some Smackdown draft. But before we get started, I just want to briefly say thank you. If anyone looked at my Impact review, thank you for even looking at it. If you made comments, thank you. You know who you are. And I think at this point it's nearly 900. I don't normally get numbers that high, so thank you. I don't know what else to say. I'm dumbfounded. I don't know how it got that high. I don't know what happened. I'm just thankful that anybody just wanted to see the video. I'm just like that. WWE Draft. Let's get to business. Let's get to business. I'm going to say this right now. If you're watching this to see if there's something incredible, spectacular that happens on the show, you're going to be disappointed. Because if you look at this show, it's like a regular SmackDown with a little bit of the draft tacked onto it. But it didn't really have a lot of excitement. I'm sorry. I didn't feel any excitement for this draft. It felt average. Honestly. Maybe I'm being biased. After what I saw on Impact Wrestling, maybe I'm still feeling the effects of being pissed off. Maybe I'm wrong. I can be wrong. I'm not the be-all, end-all of wrestling YouTubers. But if I'm looking at this show for what it was, it had some decent matches. The right people did win for most of them. The draft was basic because it's going along with storyline and with the new breakup of the Undisputed title and soon the world title, which will go to Raw because, as I'm going to tell you in the draft in a moment, you already know Roman Reigns is staying on SmackDown. He's staying. So they now no longer make it Undisputed. They're either going to make it the WWE Championship or they'll keep it as the Undisputed Championship and that'll be it. It won't be changing its name. It's going to be up to what Vince decides, not Triple H. So, they had 4 rounds. The first round had the Bloodline. Now, the Bloodline is with Paulie, Solo, and Roman. Nothing about the Usos. Then we got Cody Rhodes. And to be honest, I'm disappointed. I'm being honest here. I'm going to get to the matches in a moment, but I might as well get the draft done here first. I'm kind of disappointed for one simple reason. A lot of people thought there was going to be something special when Roman finally loses his title and pretty much makes really Cody Rhodes. But that's not happening because Cody's gone to Raw. So when they do their Night of Champions, I believe, in Saudi Arabia, he'll probably be one of the forerunners for it and may actually win it. At Saudi Arabia. Not with Roman Reigns and WrestleMania, or not even on SummerSlam. He may win it on a throwaway show that goes to Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying. Then we also get Bianca Belair. She's from Raw. Now she's SmackDown champ. And we now also get Becky Lynch on SmackDown, which probably, if I'm right, Seth Rollins will not be moving to Raw. I could still be wrong because he wasn't announced here. But husband and wife together. Now, the second round of the draft had the Street Profits, had Imperium, the Street Profits for SmackDown, as well as for, who was it? I think I didn't write it. Oh well. Edge. Here we goes. Street Profits and Edge are now on SmackDown. But then we get Imperium and, well, I'm kind of surprised when it comes to Matt Riddle because they had that moment with The Miz, then they dropped it, threw him over with the Bloodline, but then they're showing him right back over to Raw, which he'll probably pick up with The Miz, which was a big waste. What was the point of dropping the storyline with The Miz if you're going to move him over to SmackDown, but then not, and then go right back to The Miz? You want to make a bet they'll do that? That's what I think will probably happen when it comes to Matt Riddle. Because now that he's not going to be on SmackDown dealing with the Bloodline, he's going to be on Raw. And they'll probably pick up where they left off with The Miz, which is a waste of time. I don't really think Matt Riddle and The Miz is going to be a good story. But that's just me. Alright, third picks For SmackDown, we get Bobby Lashley and the OC's AJ Styles is back. Now, that's a good thing to see. I missed AJ, but he is working with Luke, Carl, and Mia Yim in the OCs. Question's going to be, are they going to do anything with them? Because they did show them, and I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but it's a question. Then we got Drew going to Raw, and we got The Miz going to Raw, where Teddy Long kind of botched his name. But we got them there. Then finally the 4 picks. We get, this is where I am like, oh boy. What was the point? Damage control for SmackDown. And I'm wondering why. They were teasing that they're going to break up Bayley with damage control, but they just stuck her with her. Now it makes you wonder that little Twitter saying the romance is over either was a troll, which I don't think it even was a troll. I think that was legitimately Bayley expressing not mine, but our frustration along with herself. Because she didn't go anywhere. That tease really didn't really mean anything, particularly what's going on with Asuka, because we haven't heard anything from Asuka. So you wonder. Then you get Shinsuke Nakamura going to Raw because he was on SmackDown. The reason I did these two is because of what has happened. NXT just lost 3 women. Here's where it gets interesting. Because it was... Now, the ones who did the announcement for this, the first round was Triple H himself. The second round was Michael P.S. Hayes and JBL. RVD and Michael P.S. Hayes. That was round 2. JBL and Teddy Long was round 3. And Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg was round 4. And Shawn probably ain't happy right now because Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, who are the current tag champs of NXT, are now gone. Of course, you already saw the tease of Carter and Chance probably going to get those titles off them before they leave after Tuesday because they will be going to SmackDown. But then Indy Hartwell, who just became their NXT champ, has now going to Raw. You would think they would use Roxanne Perez. No, they're using Indy. And I'm like, is this going to be because of Dexter Lumis? Because Dexter was on Raw at one point, maybe he still is. Is this what they're going to do with Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell? Has Vince said, oh, I think this Dexter guy needs his woman, so I know that he has Indy Hartwell in a storyline with her. Why don't we just bring them together? And then Indy, who worked so hard, become an NXT champ, gets thrown to the wayside on Raw. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but who knows? This is what we got for the draft. And then when you look at the matches themselves, the only match that really meant, only 2 matches that meant anything, and I will talk about them. Was it 2 or 3? 2, yeah. LA Knight versus Butch from the Brawling Brutes. Now, this is where I was going. They better not make LA job to Butch. I don't hate Butch, but LA has been jobbing and jobbing and jobbing. Yes, he's worked with Bray. He worked with Xavier Woods. I don't want to see him job again. They had a decent match together. It wasn't perfect. It was a little botchy. But in the end, LA won. That's my boy. And actually, I have been considering doing a Gump report on LA Knight. Eli Drake, my boy. I may actually do it. I'm thinking about it. But I'm glad to see he won. Then, we got a fatal, well, not fatal, but let me give it to you like this. I kind of wish it was a fatal 4-way instead of a triple threat. We got Street Profits, who just transferred to SmackDown. You had the LWOs, Toro and Wild. And then you had a questionable situation when it comes to Braun Strowman and Ricochet, because last week Braun Strowman went a little too overboard on Ricochet and hurt him a little bit. And they were trying to tease that possibly they're going to be breaking up. Maybe that will happen at Raw. I don't know. I kind of wish it was a fatal 4-way. I don't know why. I think it might have needed it. because it was obvious as you saw the match progress, Street Profits were the key of this. It wasn't the LWO, and it wasn't Ricochet or Braun Strowman, even though Ricochet looked alright. It was about the Street Profits getting their first win before they even go onto the roster. And the crowds were loving them just like Eli Drake. I didn't say this with Eli. Well, not Eli Drake, but LA Knight. They were cheering even louder for him than the Street Profits. That shows you how over LA Knight is. And how over the Street Profits is. This is LA. This is Street. And that's nothing wrong with Street Profits. They got great pops, but LA was bigger. Then we had the one of two matches that were supposedly important. You got Sonya Deville versus a Zelina Vega of the LWO. This was only to give her a win before the... Look, do I hate Zelina Vega? No. Do I believe she's a gorgeous woman? Yes. Is she a damn good manager? Hell yes, she is. I think she's a better manager than she is a wrestler. Taking nothing away that she can't wrestle, she can. She can wrestle when it's necessary, but I still see her as a damn good manager. She just has the look, she has the charisma, she has the mic skills. She just got it. And she's here when she's a manager, but she's kind of here when it comes to wrestling, which is like the middle of the road, nothing wrong with it. She's not bad doing either one. But this is only because of Backlash. This is the only reason. Look, when it comes to Backlash, they want to give a Puerto Rican an opportunity. And she's the only Puerto Rican on the roster that's a woman. Yes, Sonya Deville is Spanish. But she's not Puerto Rican, as far as I know. She's not. I could be wrong, but you guys tell me below. Unless Vince still loves Zelina Vega and gave it to her not only because he loved her like a daughter, she's Puerto Rican. I'm just saying. Now, the final match of the damn night is the tag match. A WrestleMania rematch, which was the best match of the night. Let's make it clear. It was the best match. Usos versus Sammy and a Kevin Owens, where you saw in the back, Usos... Well, let me crank it a little further back. After Triple H did his talk, Usos came out to try and prove that they're going to make this win happen for the Bloodline and their tribal chief Roman Reigns. But then you get Sammy and Kevin Owens coming out. Sammy still trying to reach them. And Kevin making it clear, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think his own partner. I just want to kick your ass. And we got that match. Damn good match. It was the best match of the night. There's no lie. There's no qualms about it, of course. But I knew there was no way, the way they were teasing it, that the Usos were going to get the titles back. At one point during the night, you got Usos, Solo, and Paulie all in the same room. And Paulie's telling them they better win if they want to get back to the island of relevancy, or they're going to be in the island of nothingness. Not what he said, but I'm saying it. And then he's telling him that it's got to end or it's going to end. And that is Solo, and he's wrapping his finger up. And as the match progressed, Solo came out, but he never got a chance to do anything at ringside, which was fine because there was no way he could interfere. If he did, they would win, and they can't win. Matt Riddle stopped him. In the end, when they won, and that's Sammy and Kevin, you see Solo Sikoa with the fans, because he had been fighting Matt Riddle. He watched his brothers looking at them, flat out looking at them like, you stupid idiots lost? Seriously? Oh, that's it. So this coming Monday is going to be a question of how they're going to get laid out by possibly Roman or Solo himself. Don't know yet. So I'm going to tell you this. Was this a bad show? No, was not. But was it exciting? No. This was a middle of the road show that had the draft tagged on top of it. Yes, we got to see P.S. Hayes. He doesn't usually come in front of the camera anymore. We got RVD, who supposedly got really cock-dieseled and lost a huge amount of fat due to the fact he didn't eat sugar anymore, white sugar. It was great to see him. Road Dogg, of course, we'll see Road Dogg once in a while, and we'll see Shawn Michaels, who's always on and off on NXT, but normally on Raw or SmackDown. It was okay to see them, but in the end, the show didn't really feel super substantial. Now, maybe they're doing that for Raw. SmackDown was kind of put to the wayside. They could have probably thrown more interesting stuff here, but they didn't. And I know I could say about what happened with Bianca, talking about now she's transferring to Raw, and she was in Europe at the time. And she was on the camera like this. Even that didn't make it super interesting and super entertaining. It was solid though. I'm going to tell you this. This is entertaining. Highly entertaining action pack. This is middle of the road. This is them. Slightly above average. Even with the draft tacked on top of it, with the Raw and SmackDown announcements, with no GM from Raw, no GM from SmackDown, I would have thought they brought out Adam Pearce for that, but there was no Adam Pearce. It was just Triple H himself with all the other legends. This is what we got. But it's just me. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Please give me a comment below. I believe I'll be doing my ROH review tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can get it done. Peace.